Other interesting political news, you have the United Auto Workers adding Volkswagen to unionize after a vote. Now, this is probably one of the most perfect examples of the cultural, political, and business amalgamation all coming into one. One of the biggest political donors, bar none, is the United Auto Workers, which is kind of hilarious that they voted themselves out of the job because they voted for, overwhelmingly, they donated to Biden to get him elected, same with Obama. They vote for politicians who are making their products illegal. So it's a de facto ban on the internal combustion engine in the United States. The government is saying, oh no, you can't have that. They're saying, well, in order to be in business, you have to have certain fuel economy fleet averages, and you have to have tailpipe emission standards. And they've raised those to the point where the only conceivable way to hit those metrics is to make electric vehicles, which, again, for the big three, now with Volkswagen, are less profitable. They require less low-skilled labor, and the whole life cycle of the vehicle has less components to actually configure and install, so there's less labor in general to manufacture them. Now, the UAW, interestingly enough, it almost seems like, well, some people might pejoratively call them a gang because, there are so many ineptitudes or so many examples of ineptitudes where, well, let's just say it's impossible to get fired being part of a union, which is perhaps one of the reasons why those companies, they don't have great quality products. Let me ask, I just find it fascinating that if you look at most third-party analysis when it comes to vehicle reliability and longevity, more often than not, most unreliable vehicles are manufactured by unionized labor. I don't think that's a coincidence, but that's just me. Now, this is also even worse than it sounds because just, was it last week or 2 weeks ago, the CEO of Volkswagen said their brand is no longer competitive. I mean, this company is being hit when they're down, so to say. And now their labor rate is going to increase exponentially, and the quality is going to go down. Because again, you basically can't fire someone who's in a union. You look at General Motors. And, I mean, the hundreds of millions of billions of dollars that they donate to politicians, and spoiler alert, it's all, I think of all the political donations, 1% went to people on the right, politically speaking, from the UAW. It's hugely biased. And Sean Fain, the head of the UAW, fun fact, he makes nearly $300,000 a year, and his right-hand man is a self-proclaimed Marxist who loves Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders also goes to these events. It's no coincidence. So this is going to be, the political donations for Biden they're going to increase even more now. And I can't help but think, well, let me know in the comments, do you think this will help propel the UAW to be even more, or more accurately, will it help propel Volkswagen to be more competitive on a global environment? Will it make the vehicles cheaper or more reliable? It will certainly increase the politics of the company. I know some people who will not buy vehicles just because they're manufactured by the United Auto Workers. And truth be told, I've had family who grew up in Michigan, so of course, it's kind of inevitable you end up working in the automotive community. I've had family members on both the assembly line as well as management, specifically for General Motors. So I'd like to say I have a little bit of experience in terms of anecdotal experience, talking to them about the stories, both the management as well as the frontline capabilities, or the assembly workers. But let's just say I don't think it's sustainable to pay someone $75 an hour to put tires in a car, which, yes, that actually does happen. So it'll be interesting to see what it looks like in terms of their political donations and how they start to participate in political rallies. But, this is great news in terms of Biden's perspective because he already has endorsement of the United Auto Workers. So this is just going to give him more fuel for the upcoming election. And that's why I put this in the politics part of the show, even though it's a huge business development as well. This is one of the first companies to actually be accepted or be unionized in about 50 years in the United States. Traditionally, it's just the big three. You had General Motors, Ford, as well as Chrysler. Now, GM and Chrysler went bankrupt so bad, in part due to the unions in 2009, that, Chrysler is now owned by Stellantis, which is headquartered over in Europe, and GM still has, is it $98 billion long-term debt and counting? So GM has gone bankrupt 3 times now. It'll be interesting to see if they make it in the next couple of years. But let me know, do you think this will have a huge impact on the upcoming election? Both not just in monetary, but also, feet on the street and, protesting and rallies. As always, be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to tune in. Again, we're trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of the month, so if you could click that button, I would greatly appreciate it. Also, leaving a thumbs up, thumbs down, or comment is a great way to give me some additional feedback, letting me know how I can make the show better and better. Lastly, don't forget to take the time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe, fight the good fight.